And a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I hope you're all well. And welcome to episode 16, I think it is, Hannah, now? Did I put that in the description correctly? I can't honestly remember.
17, I don't even know.
I
We're
don't
in the
know.
teens anyway. We're teenagers now,
We
Tom.
are definitely in the high teens. We're almost at the legal drinking age. We are nearly there. Nearly there. We're just about to celebrate when we actually hit the 18 and just like have a beer on stream. I'm sure the boss won't mind. It's fine.
Oh God, he's losing his mind, guys. It's happening. It's Monday morning.
I know it is pretty early for us. So yeah, we are slightly earlier than normal, guys. But that's because we have two very special guests from the other side of the world. But we will get into that shortly. If you're new to the stream, I am one of your hosts, Tom Mosley. And as always, I am joined by the wonderful Hannah Dethridge.
Hello, Tom. Can I just say, really like your haircut. Looking very suave. Look like you're about to, I don't know, fly a plane or something.
Fly a plane. Yeah, I definitely did this haircut when I did the live stream for Microsoft Flight Simulator last week.
Yes.
But no, it finally happens. I wore shades, I wore a leather jacket. I was very Tom Cruise. I was channeling my inner Tom Cruise.
It was a good look. If you'd have had this hair as well, you would have looked like a Ken doll.
I'd
back in the day. Or an action man even.
If only I had the body of an action man or a Ken doll.
But that's another conversation for another time.
Very much so. But how was your weekend, Hannah? Did you have? How are you this fine Monday morning?
I went to a board game cafe over the weekend and I played the Fallout board game and it was the best. And I was killing bloat flies, but on a board game. Oh, it was so cool. How was your weekend?
Not too bad. I played games pretty much all weekend. There's a game I've been following for a long time that's now in game preview called Ooblets.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I think I have.
Yeah, independent game, or independent studio, I should say. Absolutely phenomenal game. Very chill. You collect animals and you grow animals. You like look after a farm and then you grow animals and then you have dance battles instead of fighting. You have dance battles. It's phenomenal.
Is there a disco? Is there like lights? Do the lights change?
Yes, they do. So every battle you get, there's like lights and a boombox. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I pretty much played that all weekend. So yeah, I can't really complain. I got the car clean because my car's being collected this morning. So yeah. Access All Xbox knows what we're talking about. Saying Ooblets is awesome, 100%. If you haven't tried it, it's in game preview, so you have an hour free trial. So you can download it, play it for free. See what you think. I instantly bought it as soon as my trial was over. But I've been an awful host and actually haven't seen who is in chat. So we do have Daggercat over on Twitch, Access All Xbox as well, and Tashin over on Facebook. So good morning to you guys. I very much appreciate you guys stopping by. But really, we should probably jump into things because we have two guests that are waiting in the wings. So in the lobby, in the green room. So Hannah, who do we have this week? We have two brand new guests, right?
We have two brand new guests, yes, and they're going to introduce themselves a little bit. But as always, I have a little cool name, a bit of alliteration to spice things up a bit in the morning. So the first person we have with us, it is the formidable Fletcher. Come on down. Hello, Fletcher. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, guys. It's pretty exciting to be on.
It's good to have you, man. It's good to have you.
Bit of the opposite. It's not the morning over here. It's 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night.
Oh, dangerous. Living dangerously, Fletcher.
That's the thing that gets me the most.
Monday morning, I'm like, what? What?
It's not just that there's a time difference and it's in the evening. It's actually a different day.
Different day. It's
oh no, don't. That's crazy.
I forget about it for every time except when I talk to someone from the UK or I've been there once. So when I was talking to my wife back home.
Yeah. It's
so we time traveling now?
We are.
Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Flights are always the worst. You're always going back to the future.
I like the reference.
Like a day at a time.
Fletcher, who are you? Tell the people who you are.
So yeah, I'm Fletcher. I'm from New Zealand, so a little country in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We have pretty much no neighbors except Australia, which is that's all right. It's okay.
They're not that bad of neighbors, though, are they? They don't keep you up at night and like play the music too loud or anything, do they?
They speak funny though. They speak funny. It's definitely not us. It's them. But yeah, I'm a trainer over in New Zealand, and I work with the Australians, so I'm part of a team ANZ, and I look after surface as a category. So I'm the surface category expert at the moment.
Very nice. Well,
Sweet.
Fletch, it's amazing to have you, mate. I'm looking forward to the conversation as we delve into it in a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm very excited.
Cool.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear.
So
I'm
let's
trying not to give away who the next guest is. It's
That's my job. That's my job. And talking about the next guest, let me introduce the stupendous Steve. Steve. Hey, Steve.
Oh, muted. There we
Please.
go.
Oh.
All right.
If you stayed on mute for a while.
I mean, look, that's a classic move of mine at any conference call is just talking with the mute button on. I'm good at that. That is good.
Well, are you well in general? How are you feeling? You good?
Yeah,
You okay?
not too bad. It's it's still daylight over here. So I'm on the west coast of Australia. I'm in Perth, and it is 4:20 in the afternoon.
Well, that's a nice time.
Yeah, it's almost beer o'clock. So,
Almost.
Oh God.
So I could have joined you for a beer on stream.
Well, hopefully, if it's either next week or the week after we turn 18, so you never know.
Done.
Steve, it's time for you to introduce yourself to the masses.
Cool. Hello, I'm Steve. I'm a trainer in Australia, based in Perth. I'm originally from the UK, out of East London, but I've been here for 12 years now, so I'll have to apologise for my accent because it's all over the place. It's there is Australian hints to my tone. Unfortunately, when I speak to all my family back home, they take great pleasure in telling me.
Yeah, my sister's exactly the same. She recently moved, well, say recently, similar, about 10, 12 years ago, she moved out to Australia, to Sydney. And now when I speak to her on the phone, I'm like, who are you? I don't even recognize you anymore.
Yeah, it hurts us. We're people too, okay? But I look after all things gaming and Xbox for the ANZ training team. We do a little bit of live streaming here and there as well.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Where can we see your live streams, guys? Like, do some plugging.
So we have a YouTube channel as well. So if you jump onto YouTube and look for EZANZ, we have all things on there. We have a big repository of all of our videos and live streams and whatnot. Fletcher looks after all of that. He's a champion of the YouTubes. And then also you can change your region on Facebook as well with Expert Zone. You can change it to Australia and have a little look at what we're doing, and then obviously you can flip it back. Yeah, highly recommend it. Yeah,
well,
you'll get bored.
You are getting some love in chat. I said Daggercast put out said the Love ANZ team. They do some great Instagram posts. So you are getting some love from the UK in chat, guys. So which is all
Thank
good.
you.
That's good. I know I've met some of the team at one of the experience nights you guys graciously invited to us to.
Oh my days, we did do that. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago now, wasn't it?
That was 2.5 years ago.
Don't tell me how long ago.
It was a long time ago.
It was like 6 months ago. Yeah.
It feels like a world away now.
Well. So as always on our Videocast streams, Hannah graciously does some quick fire questions.
I do.
And if you've watched any of the previous ones, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're mediocre. So we'll wait and see how they go.
You used me. Okay, well. Right, go on. Throw a bit more shade my way, Tom. That's fine.
Usually I say some are good and some are bad. At least I went some are good and some are mediocre this week.
I don't know what's worse, to be honest, because bad can mean like cool, can't it? Like, oh, that's a bad question. Do you know what I mean? No?
You can take that. You can listen to that if that's how you want to listen to it.
Okay, well, welcome. And you didn't do the voice. Welcome to Quick Fire Questions. That's the voice.
We definitely need a theme tune. We need a theme tune.
Fire question. Well, there you go. That's it. There's your theme tune.
You could sub in here.
No, sorry.
Soundboard. Okay. So I have 5 quick fire questions. It's about gaming in general. So just generalized questions. Go with your gut feeling. Don't think about it too much. Just go with what you're feeling. So just
nervous
loosen
already.
up. Feel the vibe. Okay. Let's go Fletcher, Steve, Tom, and then me to answer the question. Tom, the first question is an old classic. Everyone knows the answers that we give to this question, but we don't know your answers, guys. Okay. So question number 1. Inverted controls or uninverted controls?
Uninverted.
Uninverted.
Yeah, uninverted.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat still.
You can stay.
You guys can stay.
I can barely game at the
You know
best
what?
of times. If I have to flick the controls around, we're having a bad time.
I did get confused not too long ago though. I was playing Ace Combat, I think it's 7 from Bandai. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I was trying to get some of that Need for Flight Simulator before that was released in me, and the controls on there were apparently inverted, and I kept uninverting them every time I joined the game, thinking, this is the wrong thing, and then I couldn't play it. That did do my head in a little bit, being someone who's
Stitch up.
always uninverted.
No, good to hear. It's good to hear.
So anybody who's watching as well, please answer the questions. Put your answers in chat. We'd like to know what team you are on as well. Okay, question number 2. Right trigger to attack or X to attack? RT or X?
That answer was not good enough. I was like, is that the right? I was like, right trigger?
I was listening to Hannah, Steve. I was just, listening to the instructions we were given. She said to go with my gut, and my gut is
Don't play me.
right
Don't play
trigger.
me.
But if it's a fighting game or something, then that doesn't make sense. Then that's X.
Is it? What do you prefer?
Play more like shooters and RPGs, so right trigger is my go-to.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Get off the
Right
fence,
trigger?
Who put a question mark on the teleprompter?
Oh dear, I am right trigger. Look, if X comes up, I will forget. Right trigger every time.
Go on, Tom. It's your go.
I think from the games that I'm thinking back and playing, I think it is X's attack.
Mm-hmm.
I think majority of the games that I play outside of first-person shooters, it's always A, B, X, or Y are your strong, light attack, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Similar to what Fletch was saying about beat-em-ups and all those bits and pieces. But yeah, generally I think X's attack, and then right trigger will be like a special ability or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I prefer using RT to run and then X to attack, I think. But then it depends what I'm playing. Because then it's weird because I'm thinking about Assassin's Creed games, and I've played some where X is attack and I've played some where RT is attack. So I'm all confused about my own question, really. But I'm going to go with X.
I feel the same way. Like I've said RT, but I've just finished playing Hellblade, and so that for me, is a lot of spamming certain buttons.
Awesome. Well,
games have gotten newer. Like RT is started to overtake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the older I go back, the more I'm thinking, I did use X and Y and B. But
see, I knew there was a reason why I put this question in.
Got rather philosophical now.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 questions down, 3 to go. The third question is, if you have a 2-monitor setup, you play PC, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you just have a 2-monitor setup. Do you have your second monitor portrait or landscape?
Landscape.
Oh.
Yeah, landscape.
Yeah, landscape. Though I am in the market for a third monitor, which will be vertical.
Yeah, I really like the look of a portrait monitor, so I'm gonna go portrait. I just think they look
Renegade.
really cool.
Renegades.
Yeah, Maverick. That's me. Okay, next question. Oh look, this is what I've written down. Oh look, you have a longbow. Do you choose poison arrows or fire arrows to shoot your enemies?
Fire.
Set the world on fire.
Set the world on fire.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
So I've just come off from playing some Hearthstone, and I have been poisoned everywhere.
Yes.
So I'm going poison.
Yeah, I'm seconding that. I'm going poison as well. Yep.
Daggercast has
You're
put
wrong.
both.
You're just
Daggercast, you
wrong.
can't
That's
put both.
okay.
You have to pick. That's the point. You have to pick one. Choose. Fire for me all day, every day. There's just something about just watching things be set on fire. Just whatever you hit, then it goes boom, and you're like,
And
oh,
we found
cool.
the pyro in the group.
Yeah, this is what happened last time. I swear to God, on the last episode, I was a bit called a pyromaniac as well, but there we go.
There's
Okay.
a common theme here.
Yeah.
Yes, fire. Daggercast says fire, access, or Xbox says fire. Sweet. Okay, final question. I hope you're ready. Hold on to your hats. Character customization. Do you spend 5 hours perfecting the customization of your character so you can bond with them emotionally? Or do you hit random and just go straight for the gameplay? There are your two choices. What do you do?
Customized all the way. They never look the same, but it's got to be customized.
Yeah, 100% agree. People who press random are psychopaths. No. You cannot play a game with a random character unless you don't want to form an emotional bond and are okay with blowing that character up every single time.
True.
Yeah, I 100% have to spend at least a couple of hours making my character just even the minutest detail, like, oh yes, the right ear needs to be 1 centimeter higher. Then just the right one, then I have that option. I just love it when you see people that recreate famous people in video games, like especially in like Fallout. I've seen like Keanu Reeves and Patrick Stewart and stuff like that. It's awesome.
That's so cool.
I just try and make them look like me. Like, I just try and find that I basically go to the male face with the female curly hair and then try and see if I can make me. My wife gets upset with the fact that I just try and recreate myself in any game. Whether I'm a manager on FIFA or I'm playing Fallout, I will try and make me.
I thought you'd done it the other way around, Steve.
What? Female face, male hair?
Yeah, male curly hair. Oh man, I sometimes will hit random if I'm lacking inspiration. That's when I'll hit random.
Yeah.
Although
I'm the same sometimes. Go on.
I see someone is like, can't make myself, and that just reminded me of the games that are coming out now where you can scan your face.
Yes.
And put it into the game. That is actually
Football Manager.
Do you remember way back when? I say way back when. I'm not that old, I promise. Rainbow Six Vegas 2, with the Xbox 360 camera. If you had that connected, you could take a picture of your face and it would import it into the game.
Yeah,
I think it was the first game that did it, and I remember searching to try and get hold of one of those cameras, and I couldn't find one anywhere because there's an achievement on that game for doing it, and it's the only achievement I don't have on that game.
This is awesome. I'd like to answer the question now, please, Tom.
Yes.
Thank you.
I keep doing it.
Keep calling it. I'm sometimes I'll hit random for inspiration and I'll go through, and some of them are just ridiculous and amazing, and especially when there's accessories involved, you can get some crazy characters. But yeah, I really do like sculpting a good face and getting the nose where I want it and the ears, but then sometimes I get really angry and then I just delete it, and then I'm like, what to do that for? I was on there for 3 hours. But yeah.
Do you look at it and you go, nah, it's too perfect, and then you just delete?
Sometimes. I do. I'd like, this is where the Sims come into play. The amount of people that I've created on the Sims. I think I had a house once. It was a university house, and it was me. This is just an insight into my life and how alone I am. So it was me, and then there was David Bowie, and there was Mick Jagger, and there was like, who else was there? There was just, I think there was like Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, and there was just all these rock stars, and Jimi Hendrix, and there was me, and we were all at university together.
Sounds like a great life, to be fair.
Forever alone. Anyway, that is the end of quickfire questions. So congratulations, well done. I hope you enjoyed.
We've all succeeded. We didn't have too much controversy either. I don't think we had any controversy this time. Haven't fallen out yet. Anyway, we've still probably got about half an hour of the stream left to see if that's going to happen when we start discussing Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Considering I called people psychopaths straight
and
straight out the gate,
yeah,
and a pyro, yeah, I'm dead sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we're all behind a computer, so I can't do anything to hurt you. But you know.
That sounded like a threat and a half.
Just don't open any suspicious packages in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Waiting for her to go get the fire arrows.
Oh dear.
But we are getting some love in chat as well. So I thank you everybody that's posted their answers to the questions in chat as well. I have tried to bring them on screen as well. So yeah, it's with no arguments. Usually there's loads, and all very good questions, Hannah. I take back my original statement of some are mediocre.
Thank you.
But we aren't just here to find out about us and our gaming habits. There always has to be a reason why we gather together on these Mondays. And if you hadn't gathered by the title already, we're going to be talking all things Microsoft Flight Simulator that launched last week. So I know you guys have played it. You streamed it. Have you played any of the previous Microsoft Flight Simulator games, or is this your first one out of the box?
Oh,
Yeah.
I may have played a really old one, like back in the day, maybe for a little bit, but it would have been a fleeting attempt, and then that would have been it.
How about you, Fletch?
I'm the same. I think I saw not the last one, the one before it. I might have played a few minutes of that, like Steve, but this is the first one where I really dived into it.
No, good. What about yourself, Hannah? Have you managed to have a go yet? I know you were downloading it.
Yes, so I haven't had a go yet. I've watched quite a few streams. Watched yours and Monica stream, which was good. I've watched a few people on Twitch play. So I'm really excited to get involved. I just know I need to put a chunk of time aside because I need to get really with me and controls. I need to really learn like what the controls doing because it's not a game where you can just button bash, which the games I love to button bash. I need to put some time aside and really learn how to play. But I'm excited. It looks awesome. And please, if anyone else has played any of the other games, please put it into chat so we can shout you out. Bing.
You turned the fan off as well.
What's that? Sorry, Fletch?
You called them psycho, and now they don't want to follow.
I know.
Yeah. Access all Xbox. It's just gone. Right. That's it.
Look, I feel like I owe you an apology straight off the bat. I'll write one down and send it out.
Laminate
along
it.
with all of the other apology letters that I have to send out on a weekly basis for offending someone somewhere.
It's a common occurrence, Steve. It's a common occurrence.
It is, unfortunately.
So I'm just going to deviate slightly from Flight Simulator now. Like you've just mentioned that this is kind of our all first time playing it because this last week was the first time that I'd ever played a Flight Simulator game. You guys have potentially dabbled in the past. Do you play simulator games in general? Or is it not your kind of genre?
It might be to go with wanting to watch the world burn, but I think when I played Train Simulator, it was just seeing how fast I could get the train before it came off the tracks.
Yep.
Flight Simulator, it might be. I think what I want to do more than anything is go find like tiny little places that you don't ever really get the chance to go and see yourself and go check them out. That is what I want to do more than anything. After I haven't seen if my house is in it yet. So it's a close second to seeing if my house exists in the game.
I think that's kind of what everybody wants to do. It is the case of like, right, let's find something that I know and see if I can see it in the game. I've yet to, as the same as you, I've yet to kind of explore much of it. I've kind of done, which we'll get into in a little bit, like more of the challenges. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the free flight stuff.
That was the first thing I did after doing the tutorial was I went and found my house in the UK, my mum and dad's house. And then I went and found my house here. And because I live on 5 acres here and we've got like a long field. So I landed in my field. And I thought that was that cool. And just had a look around my pool and a look around the house, just in the drone mode. I loved it. And my wife wasn't as interested. I just thought it was amazing.
It's really cool. It's the power of Bing Maps, isn't it? And the partnership that Bing have with Microsoft, like with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's It's really cool to see that come to life. I'm excited to see some things. I really hope there's really boring things, like so I can see if Morrison's is there and stuff like that. That's what that's what I'm excited about.
I think Southampton.
Yeah,
I think with Southampton is the one of the places that have got like full 3D rendering of the exact maps of what it's like, and you can go down onto the street level and you can see like the Tesco's and stuff that's there.
See, I'm into that.
Go see a Tesco's Express.
Dream. In better graphics that you can with your actual eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I read an article like just the other day that someone who like paints for a living, because they weren't able to, go in and see the normal places they would go to, which is just driving around until they see something or a building they like the look of and painting it. They've been using this as a substitute, and they're getting
awesome.
like better angles than they've ever been able to get, and all sorts, like all new perspectives and what they paint. And I think that's awesome. Like, what an out there idea, but what a cool idea.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. I love it when technology helps people and you think, oh, I can do this. But then if I use something that we all use anyway, to make it better, it's just some really cool stories out there. So I think flight simulators in general have helped people be better at flying anyway. Like pilots use it and stuff like that. So it's cool to hear.
Yeah, I think like that's, you've just kind of hit the nail on the head there, Hannah, is the Microsoft Flight Simulator is so detailed that you can actually learn to fly a plane with this game. And there are pilots out there in the real world that now fly us on holiday and fly us around the world who learn to fly in Flight Simulator. And that just baffles me. Like I know I did a driving experience a couple of years ago, and this guy learnt how to drift in Forza. He turned off all the assists, got a full rig, and learnt how to do it in Forza, and he's now a professional drifter and does it around the world. Microsoft Flight Simulator can now do this for pilots. Like, it's weird that games can do it. Like, I'm an advocate of games, but like this is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jer Lynch. Jer's beat me to it, but I was just going to ask Steve, how big is the game on the cloud again? Because that's how in depth it is, right? With all the physics engines and the 1.5 or 1.6 billion just buildings in the game.
Yeah,
it's mental. It is. There's 2 petabytes of world scenery.
That is I can't even comprehend how big that is. Scenery.
That's 2,000 terabytes, I think.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
There's a reason I'm here, and this is the reason.
give or take,
Was that just some quick mental arithmetic there, was it, Steve?
Quick maths.
Yes, quick maths.
But yeah, Hannah, you mentioned, well, you didn't kind of get round to saying, like, I know you haven't played it yet. Is there somewhere like you really want to visit? I know you said, I'm going to go and visit the boring places, but like right now, if you could fly anywhere, where would you love to go on a flight to and kind of see?
I guess it would be my head, I can't even think. It would be just those places where there's amazing landmarks. Like I want to fly over pyramids. I want to fly over ancient Greece. I want to see all the architecture. Basically, anywhere an Assassin's Creed game has come out, I'm going to fly and see what it looks like now. Yeah, I'm just I love that kind of stuff with architecture and things like that. So
what's quite cool, you talking about Assassin's Creed links quite well, because technically what you could do is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you could fly from England to Egypt. You could land, then open up Assassin's Creed, and then do like the exploration mode and like learn all about like ancient Egypt or ancient Greece and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you could actually then open that up, have an actual explore around, learn loads of stuff, switch back to Flight Simulator and fly home. Who needs holidays anymore?
Who does? That's the dream. I'm going to do that and see how it goes. I'm excited. When I'm excited, it doesn't sound like I'm excited. It sounds like I'm stressed, but it's because my excitement's all like, I'm excited.
Excited, very excited. Jer, who is, if you don't know, is one of the other trainers in the UKNI. He is the eye of the UKNI. He's very keen to fly from Dublin to Heathrow again because he used to do that flight all the time and he hasn't done that flight in a while. Is it sad that you miss a flight? I don't know, Jer. I'll leave that to you guys.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad.
Trust the Kiwi to call it out, right?
Yeah. Oh dear. So we've kind of briefly spoken that there's like 1.5 billion different types of buildings and scenery and mountains and rivers, etc., etc., etc. 2 million cities that we can visit, 30,000 airports that you can take off or land from. But I think what it's kind of links to a previous point that we've all made is like, it's not just the surrounding world that's kind of pretty much bang on. It is also the fact that the cockpits and the planes are so super detailed that if you sit in a plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's like you are sitting actually in the real plane. All the dials, all the buttons are exactly where they need to be. And this is going to kind of link to probably Stephen Fletch more than Hannah at the moment because you've yet to play it. But how are you guys playing it? Are you playing it with mouse and keyboard? Are you playing it with controller? Are you doing both? How are you guys kind of experiencing the game? And how are you kind of controlling these planes?
So I'm playing like a hybrid right now because I play a lot of games on PC, but I use a controller. I like a controller in my hands. I'm not coordinated enough to do mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
But I think that there's not quite enough. There's not quite enough there to be able to just use a controller right now. So like I'm using a hybrid, like putting the flaps down, which is a technical term for landing. And yeah, I press in F8. So you have to press F8 and you have to like to turn the engine off and stuff. You have to like do Control, Shift, and C, and so like there's a few shortcuts that I'm using on the keyboard, but predominantly I'm controlling the aircraft with the sticks, which is way more fun.
So far I'm only mouse and keyboard, but I want to be an absolute madman and try controller only. I've heard that you can do it, so I do want to try. I've actually heard a lot of people saying it was they played with the settings a little bit and managed to get it working okay. So I just want to experience it on a controller. Because I remember playing flight games when I was a kid and I never had like a joystick or anything, and mouse and keyboard was like notoriously hard at playing flight games back in the day. So I'm looking forward to at least having some type of joystick while I'm playing it.
Yeah, I think I've combined the both. So I'm same as you, Steve, controller to control the plane, but then I'm using a keyboard and mouse to kind of look around the cockpit, pulling like the throttle levers and all that sort of stuff. F8 to for the flaps and all that sort of bits and pieces. So I'm a combo, which I think is really cool that you can do. If you've got all of it plugged in, you can use it all, which is cool.
Yeah. I feel a little bit more like a pilot as well, because when you're in a cockpit, they've got lots of little buttons in front of them, and I've got a few buttons in front
just
of me.
Just a few in front of you. Hannah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I always, whatever I'm playing, whether it's console or PC, I'll play with controller because I just like having the feel of controller in my hand, and I like the controller. It feels good, and I like it. However, I am under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Flight Simulator is predominantly designed for the hardcore PC generation and people that love to play it on PC, and I kind of want that challenge of being able to use mouse and controller to play it and have that experience, because even though it's coming away from it and you can play more on controller now, I just feel like challenge accepted. I'd like to have a go and see. I probably won't last long at all, but yeah, it's just one of those really nerdy kind of empowering things to play on PC.
I think one of the things I learned very early on was I have a newfound respect for pilots. I mean, I'm sure it's a hard job, but I thought I could do it. First thing was jumping on and trying to take off a 747 from a runway that was not equipped to cope with that kind of aircraft. And no, it's hard. It's hard. So congratulations to any pilots who can fly.
Actually do it. Yeah. I take my hat off to you, sir. But there was kind of a point of me asking about controller, mouse, keyboard, flight stick, or an actual choke or yoke. Sorry, an actual yoke is what they're called. Is the actual steering mechanism of a plane. Is that currently this is out on PC only, available on through Game Pass of PC, Game Pass Ultimate. But Microsoft, Xbox have said that it is going to be coming to console later this year. So it'd be really interesting to see, as Fletch, as you said, the game can be played in full controller. If you kind of go through and memorize all the buttons and all those bits and pieces. I think it'll be really interesting to see if they do adapt any of the controls when it releases on console, or they keep that full functionality. Maybe they'll even have mouse and keyboard support. It's the kind of things to kind of wait and see. But I know that's been like a really big question of, okay, it's out on PC now, but is it coming to console? Do you think that you'll play it more on PC or play it more on console? Or do you think it will just kind of balance between the two? Or
I think my personal preference at this stage would be PC, and that's just because it's such a beautiful game, and I think like a gaming PC at the moment fully does it justice. You know what I mean? Like, they've put all this hour, like you said, Hannah, 2 petabytes, sorry, just in the scenery and building. I want to soak all that up, but I usually find gaming on console is a little bit more relaxing. And I can see long term this turning into one of those games where I just sit there to kind of almost numb my brain a little bit and enjoy myself and just like take it all in.
The modern day relaxed pilot.
You can just imagine that coming over the tannoy going, yes, good evening. I'm your pilot today. I'm just having my feet up on the side of the plane. I'm having a quick cup of tea, and I hope you're all enjoying your flights.
I selfishly like all the frames. So with playing it on PC, I like to, because of how graphically stunning it is, I want to have as many frames as possible to be able to see all of that. So I think I'll continue to play it on PC.
Can I say 2 things I think is really cool?
Go ahead.
First thing is I can't pronounce things. Asobo. You're
talking about the developer?
Yeah. Okay. They did Zoo Tycoon.
Okay.
Huh.
So I just wanted to say that because Zoo Tycoon is awesome. That's really cool. Second thing that I think is really cool is that everything is rendered using Microsoft Azure, and it's all cloud-based rendering. That blows my mind.
That's really cool.
So just really, because you're talking about frames, it just thinks the amount of effort that's gone into that, and the fact that it's cloud-based rendering for the textures and the earth. Awesome. Right. Let's talk about that.
But I think that's kind of an important thing to talk about. And like, I know you kind of said it, and that was kind of it. But because it is cloud-based, it means you don't need a hugely powerful PC to hit the minimum specs. If you want 4K and HDR and all those bits and pieces, you're going to need a pretty powerful PC. But like the minimum requirements for Microsoft Flight Simulator are either an Intel i5 or Ryzen 3 processor, and a kind of reasonably like mid-range to low dedicated graphics. So NVIDIA GTX 770 or a Radeon RX 570. You're going to need 8 gig of RAM and 150 gigabyte of storage on your hard drive or SSD, because it is a pretty big game. But it's not massive. And I think from Hannah's point of the fact that it is cloud-based, is that powers so much of the game that it used to be the case of you wanted to test a game. You wanted to test your PC, you ran Microsoft Flight Simulator. That then switched to kind of Crisis, but Microsoft Flight Simulator used to be the game that you tested your PC on. Nowadays, with this Microsoft Flight Simulator, because it is all cloud powered, the majority of it is cloud powered, is that you don't need a huge PC to run it unless you want it to look 100% almost lifelike. So I think that's a really important kind of thing to state, is cloud powered means more people can play it, which I think is awesome.
Absolutely.
I concur.
You concur, because there has been a few comments in chat going what specs you need and all those bits and pieces. A couple of people saying, "Oh, my laptop or PC struggle to run it." I would highly recommend if you are running it on a laptop that you are running it on a gaming laptop as well. Just doesn't have to be, because you are getting that cooling and the fans is your kind of the big thing there. Trying to run it on a standard laptop, even if it has all the spec, might not have the appropriate cooling. So I would always recommend a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop to be able to do that. But I know a few people have mentioned it as well, saying it's kind of too intense. But yeah, just being sure that using a gaming laptop and yeah, you should be all good. But we are running out of time, so I do want to kind of cover a few other things before we finish. And that's kind of the different kind of modes within the game. It isn't just take off, land, fly around where you want. There are a couple of different things. So there is that kind of free flight mode where you can select your departure airport and then select your destination airport. And then you can kind of fly that. You do your flight checks, you fly it. It is in real time. I know there was someone on Twitch trying to do the longest flight in the world, flying to Dubai from somewhere, which I think was taking them 22 hours in real time. And they streamed the whole thing on Twitch. They set up a cockpit in their living room and did all of that. Unfortunately, they crashed about 15 hours in.
No! Oh, no!
Yeah.
What did he do?
I don't know. I think he turned too much and the pressure destroyed the plane.
Oh, no.
You would be gutted, though. You would be absolutely gutted if that actually happens.
I'd have been gutted to be watching him for 15 hours and then have that happen.
He is, I'd be the same as you. I'd be gutted, and the fact that they did have a pilot that had a co-pilot, and they kind of had someone that was dressed up as an air host as well, kind of bringing them drinks and stuff like that. They made a huge theatre about it. It was brilliant. I'll see if I can find the link and send it across, it's just brilliant. But like some of the biggest streamers in the world are playing this as well, which I think is amazing that it's getting that kind of exposure. Like Dr. Disrespect was playing it last week and having a laugh with it with his viewership. And he was just kind of doing the free flight mode, just as I said, take off, fly, get to your destination, lands. But what I really like about this, for someone that's not necessarily into the simulation, like the full simulation aspect, is that there are also challenges. So there are landing challenges of some of the most famous landings in the world and famous airports that have difficult landings. Is you've got to try and land these planes in real time in these extreme conditions, like high winds, snow, rain, side winds, all those bits and pieces. And I think for me, that really tacks into that gamer mindset of like, no, I must complete these challenges. I've got to get the best score possible, all those bits and pieces. And I think for me, that's what's going to keep me playing. Do you think, is it something that you enjoy when it comes to gaming, those challenges? Or is it with Microsoft Flight Simulator, is it for you the fact that you can fly anywhere? Or is it the challenges that really kind of tie you in?
I had to be like, so I've done both and I've been in different moods to do both. So I think that it just kind of depended on how I was feeling at the time. So I literally sat down at the computer the other day specifically to complete some of those challenges because I was achievement hunting as well. But I wanted to actually experience what it was like to land in some of these airports. But then other times that I've sat down, like the first time I sat down after doing the tutorial was I just wanted to see my house. So, and like going to see all these landmarks, like the first thing I thought of when we were talking about landmarks were the pyramids. And I'd be like, I would love to do that. And so I think that will be another little session that I do where I just go and see all of the places in the world that I wish I could go visit.
Yeah. I think free flight is what I'll start the game off on, and I'll really enjoy that. But the challenges are what are going to keep me going. It's going to give that game longevity to me, because once I'm into the challenges, I get right into them. Like, and I want to complete the game. I want 100% it. So that's definitely, I think, what's going to keep me playing it.
No, awesome. What about yourself, Hannah? Like, I know you've yet to kind of jump in, but
I will be exploring. I will be doing it because I'm just thinking about GTA and the flight challenges in GTA that I absolutely fail at every single time, no matter what GTA it is, no matter if I'm in a helicopter or a plane. I am awful at flight challenges. So I can only imagine that they're even harder on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I will be probably purely exploring. I'll probably do the tutorial if I get through it. And then I'll just be in exploration mode, which works for me.
Yeah, awesome. I want to make one final point. Troy on Facebook has just said, can you fly into current hurricanes near the USA? So not that you can fly directly into hurricanes, but there is live weather. So as you're flying around, the real world weather will be actually what you're experiencing. And so far it is wind, rain, thunderstorms, obviously sunshine, cloud, mist, all those bits and pieces. There's no extreme weather that I've experienced in the game anyway. But they do actually bring in real weather and live weather feeds into the actual game. So yes, you can experience. So if you are somewhere that is currently having really high winds, you could actually jump into Microsoft Flight Simulator and see how it would actually be to fly in those conditions.
That's insane.
It is mental.
Which is on. Pretty epic game.
So does that mean, say if something happened? Okay, now say the Isle of Wight, the little island by the UK that I love dearly with all of my heart. Say that disappeared. I'm so sorry. I hope it doesn't. But say if it did, would that be replicated? Would they then go into Microsoft Flight Simulator and sink the Isle of Wight?
I could only. Well, it's powered by Bing Maps, so if Bing updated and an island did disappear,
yeah,
then all I could say is yes. But that is the most morbid question.
I'm so sorry. Steve's face. I knew as I was talking, I was like, oh no.
We've gone down a dark path.
I really like the Isle of Wight.
Funnily enough, Flex and I were talking this morning about a article we saw on. There was somewhere in Melbourne. There is. So it's also done that uses a program, and I can't remember what the name of the program is called, but it's user input data as well about the buildings that are around. And someone had accidentally put in that this building had 212 stories instead of 2 stories. And so in the middle of Melbourne, in this middle of this random suburb in the Melbourne's north, there is this 212 story tower that jets up into the sky. And it's actually a really cool glitch right now. And they are going to look at fixing it. But so that data is there for real time. So I assume that if the Isle of Wight was to be wiped off the face of the earth, then yeah.
You're never going to live that down. Hashtag save
but I really like the Isle of Wight. Just saying.
It's brilliant. But guys, I think we have kind of reached time. So yeah. Any last words you want to say kind of about Flight Simulator, what you've enjoyed, what you're looking forward to? Any last comments you guys want to make before we finish up?
Yeah, we've had a few people in comments from a beautiful city in New Zealand called Christchurch. So Jay and Troy. And honestly, I as they were commenting, I was thinking, why haven't I flown down to Christchurch yet? That is a beautiful landing. So if you want a beautiful landing in a bit of a different place of the world and can stand a 22-hour flight, whatever, because it takes a while to get here. Go and fly to Christchurch and land there. You've got beautiful mountains and the ocean and rivers and farmland. So go check it out.
Amazing.
And I totes saw people talking about Area 51. So
yes.
as soon as I am off this stream, I am going there. I was supposed to go to the gym this evening, but I am not. I'm going to Area 51.
Area 51 take priority. No, that's awesome. And what are you looking forward to, Hannah? Last fleeting thoughts.
Do you know what? Actually, it's been a long time since I've been to a beach. So I think it would just be, as sad as it sounds, I think it would just be really nice to fly over some beaches. See the waves crashing against the rocks and just, yeah,
amazing. Well,
it's final thought.
It's that final thought of just like, oh, we can't go anywhere, but we have flight simulators to take us those places, which is awesome. Is awesome. But Steve, Fletch, thank you so much for joining us on our morning stream, your guys' afternoon and evening on Tuesday, which is baffling. Anyway, yeah, I want to say a huge thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully in the future we can do this again and talk more things gaming, which would be great fun. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been great. But yeah, guys, thank you very much in chat. You guys have been amazing. All the comments, all the answering to the quickfire questions have been great as always. And Hannah, thank you as always for being a brilliant co-host.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
It's always appreciative, and it makes my life a million times easier having you here as well. So,
you sure? You sure it doesn't make it more stressful?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, I think that's going to conclude our stream for today, guys. If you're new to the stream, we do this every single Monday. Generally, it's about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. But when we have some special guests, we like to accommodate and make sure that we can get everybody in as best we can. But yeah, every single Monday, we do this. As we close, I'll put up a schedule of all the content that we do in the UK and I. But yeah, until next week, guys, we will see you then. Cheers, guys. Bye.